Some of the best years we had at Santa Fe. I mean, especially playing football. But I mean, some things that you guys are lucky you don't have to do anymore, which Casey and I are both really happy not to see it tonight. They used to make the senior guys dress up in cheerleader outfits and do some little jingle up in front and embarrass yourself.
It's supposed to be like a team building exercise.
In front of your families and things like that.
Yeah. Instead of like making the seniors look cool, the idea I think was to like put them on their hands and knees for like begging for mercy.
Yeah.
Next week,
we were actually the only two that had to end up doing that out of the entire senior class. It just discontinued after.
We just decided to make it so offensive that they would never want it to be returned.
We took a jab or two at coaches once we got like that platform, and they couldn't do anything because they're at our houses. So that's probably really why they stopped. Pride for them,
but also, you know, it's also nice to be able to speak to you guys before playing Francis Parker, who, you know, we know is one of the school's rivalries. I understand you guys took care of Christian last week. Congratulations, that's a big win. Also Bishops, I think the week before, so I've been following you guys a lot. But I think now at this point in the season, you know, you really got to find out what motivates you guys. You know, you're almost halfway through this season. You guys have a chance to make this state game. You really need to start figuring out what drives you guys to play. You know, I mean, you obviously have been doing well so far, but really to keep that engine going throughout these last parts of the year. I mean, for me, you can hear Coach, like, I just love to go out and, you know, hurt people in the most nicest way possible. But, you know, things like that are the reasons why I love to play football so much. So I'm sure Casey has other reasons, but
I think it's kind of like, you hear the phrase, like, play with a chip on your shoulder or whatever, and that's kind of a tough thing to do when you're also supposed to be this, like, confident football player guy. But if you can find something that kind of, like, specifically the other guy that you're going to be going against does to piss you off, even if you have to make it up. Like, maybe he talks bad about your sister, mom, whatever it is. Something that makes you feel like you have to prove yourself to every person you're playing against every time. Kind of keeps you from getting lazy. That way you can, like, stay motivated, stay energized, don't get tired. And if it's just you're in better shape and you're going to try harder than that guy, like, let that be your thing. But for whatever it is, like, find something just to, like, you got to prove yourself every day.
Yeah, I mean, you guys get to watch yourselves. I don't know if it was who on our team got hit the hardest or who was making big plays here. But, I mean, those are the kind of things that we would compete over. Like, hey, I'm going to be on that video. I'm going to be the one that's laying the fattest hit. Everyone's going to give me props. We actually used to have we had those black belts, and we'd all vote, like, us closer guys on the team, like, hey, we put white stripes on the belt for big hits. And, like, I mean, it took a lot to get with those white stripes, but it's kind of like seeing yourself up here, you know. You always want to be competing with yourself and trying to make, you know, the biggest play or the biggest hit or the kickoff return that sets this reverses